What's up guys, Nico here, back with a video with some content for you guys. Today I will build a deck with the Naphas Starter Deck because I'm always reading the discussions in the Discord and talking to the people, and some of you have trouble with the one movement cards, and most of the players rely on the 2 movement or 3 movement cards. And well, I will show you, or I will try to show you a deck, a Naphas deck, which will include a lot of the one movement, and I will have a special strategy planned, and we will see, and then we also will test it right away, and then we will see how it works. But I think it's a cool idea, and yeah, let's see if it works. So let's move to the old mill, talk to Steve. I haven't seen him since early in the morning. Welcome. What's up, Steve? So of course I have all the cards, but I will only build a deck from the starter deck cards. So I've already prepared it, but we will build it from scratch. So I will delete and I will create a new deck. The deck name is called Lurk Push. Why that name? Well, we will lurk simply because of Rush. So for those of you who already played the game, probably also already played against KS, our hardest player to beat. So he's a lot of the times playing the Naphas with Rush and Chupo with this area damage, with this AoE attack combo. And I like his deck, and maybe he will share a guide with you at one time. But I will use Rush in a different way, and that's why the deck is called Lurk, because we will use Rush just as a threat. So he's the red giant, and he's majestic. He's sitting on the Drakir Mountains, and he's looking over Cisalas, and he's waiting patiently for the right moment. That's exactly how we will play him. We will wait with him patiently, because his movement value of 3 can be dangerous at any time, and also his 9 defense is not that easy to crack. So you have always the possibility to place him safely and move him safely. So he's, especially at the beginning of the game, he should be just a threat for your opponent. Your opponent should fear him at any time, and we will use Rush only in the perfect moment. But first we will use him just as a threat, so we can push, and that's what the second word is of our deck name is, Lurk Push. So we can push with our higher defense units into the neutral zone, and then into our opponent's zone, yeah. So we have Rush, and as a guardian we will use Arzok, simply because he is high defense, and because of his ability, of course. He is increasing, alright. He's increasing all warriors defense value by 1. That means we will go for a warrior, for a high defense warrior deck. That means high defense means automatically that most of the cards will have 1 movement, so we will need more time to push them into the neutral zone and also to our opponent's zone. So we will use Arzok, but because I have pre-ordered. I will use, of course, this skin right there, this alternative design. So this alternative design is also available for everyone, so if you want to buy it, go ahead. As masters, we only have 3 options because there are only 3 masters in the starter deck. So the starter deck contains Bricks, June, and Blankara. Blankara is also, we will use Blankara in a similar way to Alnarash. She is also a threat for your opponent because her ability is called Paralyze. If she attacks a card, the card is paralyzed and cannot act in the next turn. So most of the time she will kill all the other units because 7 attack is pretty high and most of the other cards don't have a defense value of 6. Just masters and heroes or guardians have higher defense values, I think. Maybe some pioneers. So we will use Blankara as a threat to your opponent's hero, because that means that not only Alnarash is dangerous at any time, also Blankara is dangerous at any time because she can paralyze the opponent's hero, and in the next turn you could set up a hero kill with Alnarash, and that's always a good trade. So we take, of course, we take her. We use, we have Bricks as an option. He will be the one who is who will push in the neutral zone with the other high defense units. 9 defense is hard to crack. You need at least a master card or more pioneer or warrior cards. And then we have June. He is also very dangerous, 8 attack, and because he has Master of Styles, he doesn't suffer a 50% damage in close combat. So he's also dangerous at any stage of the game. Now let's move to the pioneers. Because the deck is warrior, the deck is warrior heavy and relies on the defense of the warrior cards, but also those warrior cards don't have that much movement, so most of them have 1 movement. We will go for the more of the 2 movement cards in the pioneer class, pioneer level. So we will have Draska. Draska has 2 movement, 4 attack, 6 defense, and also she has immunity. She is not affected by impairment after death or deterioration abilities. This means against deterioration guardians like Radiana or Pano, she is pretty strong, and also against the arachnids with their after death and impairment abilities. Plus, she has 2 movement and a high defense value. Perfect to move her into the neutral zone to get control. We will take Drax because he has a high defense value. 8 defense is also hard to crack, and it's always good to push him to take control over some fields in the neutral zone. Also, in that case, I will also take the alternative designs, of course. And then, what else do we have? We have Izaresh. So, for Izaresh, there's also 2 designs. Of course, I will take the alternative design. But for Izaresh, we have a lot of people. I heard some of them. I think Soda said it in the alpha version, that she's not that useful with her ability, that she has poison. Her poison means if she attacks a card, she will reduce the card's attack value by 2. So what does that mean? Well, in my opinion, she's pretty good because she's we can use her in different ways. We can use her with 4 attack in range and in close combat. So 4 attack is always pretty solid, especially against Zagari and also Arachnids. And also she has 5 defense. 5 defense is not that easy to crack. And plus, we can use her in a different way when attacking. For example, if our opponent has calculated the turn and did a special setup, you can always counter his plans with her ability, because nobody is counting the attack value reduction by 2. So if you sacrifice her and reduce the attack value of your opponent's hero by 2, that can be a game changer, and that's why we'll take her. I think, in my opinion, she's pretty strong because we can use her in so many different ways. Not this design, I want the alternative design. Alright, that's Isarash. We have 4 pioneers left. As we said, we take the 2 movement cards in the pioneer level. We take Kishk. We will take Sherdet, of course, 5/5, solid attack, solid defense, solid movement. And we will take Valash. Why Valash? Well, she has 5 attack as a marksman, 4 defense, 2 movement, 2 range, and her ability is Grievous Wounds. She's reducing the defense value of the attacked unit by damage dealt. That means if she is attacking in range combat, she's reducing. She's permanently reducing your opponent's defense value by 5, and in close combat by 3. That's also a card which we can use in different scenarios. So we will use her. And think about the big arachnid hero with 15 defense. If she can lower his defense value by 3 or by 5, that could be a game changer as well. And the last pioneer card we're going to use is Vanax. Why Vanax? He has 7 defense, he has 2 range. He's not that of a threat in as with his 2 attack value, but still 7 defense is hard to overcome, and also his ability is called Sabotage, reducing your opponent's starting time budget by 30 seconds. This means our playstyle is Lurk and Push, so we are playing more slowly, and with time we are getting control over the game. That means that your opponent has to win the early game, otherwise it will favor our strategy. If we take away his time, he doesn't have that much time to think about his turns, and thus will make mistakes, and we will capitalize on those mistakes. So we'll take Vanax. Now we have 15 warriors left. First of all, the first 2 warriors we're going to add is Krexo. I think he is 2 times in the deck. That's also, for that strategy, one of the first cards I would unlock, the 3rd Krexo. So he has now 2 and 6 because of Halsok. We will take him 2 times, so stacked they will have 4 and 12. Then we will take Druskur 4 times because he will have 20 defense stacked. That's pretty high. And then we will take Finn. He will help us push our high defense cards into the neutral zone. And then we will use, for those of you who don't know Finn, his ability is called Support. Range attacks on the 2 fields in front of this card will be blocked. He is one of the protectors. Same as Bricks, but he is protecting the cards in front of him. So we will place the high defense warriors in front of Finn, and Finn will help them push to your opponent. Alright, the next warrior we are going to take is Krehash. Krehash has the ability Troop Slayer. She has 3/2/2/2. She will be a good addition at any time, and she is attacking 2 times against troops. So if you play against the Arachnids, for example, or Nordur, also against the Tagari, she can be pretty useful. but we will leave her in the deck, so when we draw her, we can use her, but she's not that big of a part in our strategy. The next card is, and I like those cards, I haven't seen them, but I really like them, is Rus Juice. 8 marks of beer, don't make me laugh. So he likes to drink beer, of course, obviously, but he also has 2, 3, 1, and 2. With Arsok he has 2, 4, 1, and 2. Stacked, he will have 6 and 12. So we will take him 3 times, and trust me, maybe even in attacking in close combat, 1 damage is not much, but for your opponent will think, well, it's not worth to destroy this card, but this card can win you games, I will promise you. I will show you. We take Rus Juice 3 times, then we will use Sipash, also a card that I haven't seen that much. With Arsok he has 3, 4, 1, and 2, also an Hermeticist, can attack in close combat without the 50% reduction, and stacked he will have 3, 6, 8, 1, and 2. Also high defense, and we will use him to get into the neutral zone as well. And the last 2 cards are the 2 Sisash Marksmen. With Arsok, Sisash has 2, 3, 1, and 3. Free range gives us a lot of control. Stacked, we have 4, 6, 1, and 3, 2 times. And then we move to the equipment cards. So the first equipment we are going to take is, we will use Venus Poison. Venus Poison is increasing the attack value by 2 of a marksman. So which marksman are we going to equip? We would have the option of June, we have the option of Valash, and I think that's about it. Krehash as well. We don't use Krehash, and we don't use June. June has a pretty high attack value already with 8. But if we can use Valash and give her, she already has 5 attack, 2 attack more, she has 7, which will result in an attack value in close combat with 4. And don't forget her ability. She is reducing the defense value of the card that she attacks by damage dealt, and 3 and 4 is a difference. So because she's usable in many different ways, this will make her even more a threat. So we will give the 2 attack to her. Then we will use Azrin's Essence. It gives defense. This card plus 1 defense to melee cards. Which melee cards could we use? Well, we could use Draska. So she would have 4, 7, 2, 1. I think that's probably the best way. She also has the ability Immunity. We can make her even more hard to overcome. So we will use Azrin's Essence on Draska, and then we have the Drovir Poison. It will enhance the attack value of a melee card by 1. Which card should we choose right there? We could use, in my opinion, the best way to, or the best card to use would probably be either Kishk or Sharded. I would say doesn't matter, we would just pick the card. The first card we draw, if it's Kishk or Sharded, we will equip with the Drovir Poison. Now we have a full deck. It is called Lurk Push. I will copy the deck list in the guide I will create in the tavern. In the description below there is a link to the guide, so you will find the deck list in the tavern, in the thread I will make especially for this guide, Lurk and Push. So we'll forge the deck, then we will head back to the menu, and we are ready. So what are our plans for our starting 5? I would say we go a similar approach for both options, for starting and for going second. But I would, of course, look at this beautiful card back. Theme Finland, what a legend. We will go for a already found someone. Nice. Yeah, let's see in the starting 5 selection. I have something in mind. Okay, our opponent is starting Tagari. So as we said, we are lurking, and our opponent doesn't play Nuka, so he will have two movement hero. Probably he will go aggressive with some 3 movement cards, but we will use, I would use Rus choose 3 times, 12 defense. We use Finn with 2/6, and as a threat we will use Blankara. I think we will have enough damage to survive the first round and enough defense. Plus, we will draw 3 cards immediately. So, if our opponent is starting, how are we going to place them? We are placing the Rus choose right there. 12 defense. We are trying to. We are moving Alarash right here. We are going for Blankara right there and Finn right there. We are trying to get Rus to this field right here. As you can see, pretty aggressive. So what happens? My opponent could now play very aggressive and move a lot of cards into the neutral zone. Also, it would be possible to destroy my marksman with Kele and Mojang. If we take a look at their movement value, you can see they will get in this field right there. But as I said, we are trying to play patiently, lurk and push. In this scenario, we have to survive the early storm, obviously. All right, so what happens here? We do have Drax. Where can we place him? I think I said to you that we're gonna equip Draska, but in that case I will equip Drax with 1 attack, just because we want to make pressure on Mojang. What do we know is Atieno has Troop Slayer, so he will make 10 damage on my Rus troop, but he would still need a second card. If it takes 2 cards to attack Rus, it's fine for me. So we will place Drax right here. We will place we will equip Valash. We will place Valash right there. And we will place Druskur right there. Why are we doing that? Because obviously he will destroy Druskur with Lapu, but that means automatically that he has to stay with Lapu. I don't want to let him push Lapu right here or in this one of those fields, otherwise it will be pretty difficult for me to survive. Also, he would need his hero could destroy Valash, but that would result, yeah, that would be not that good for us. So as I said, we have to survive the early storm. What are we going to do with Blankara? We could move Blankara right here, but what would happen? It would happen that Kele will destroy Blankara, which is something we don't like. So we will leave her right there, and we will just move Finn to this field, because it doesn't really matter. And he would need also Kele or Mojek to destroy Finn. So we will play it like this. Of course, I used some time to explain to you, but normally we could execute that a little bit faster, and also not every opponent plays that aggressive. So as you could see, he is now forced to use a second card for our warrior troop. And one could say this warrior troop is not worth it to use a high movement pioneer and a troop slayer pioneer, but it seems like it is worth it for our opponent. As I said, he will use Lapu, so Lapu stays there. That's perfect for us. We just sacrificed one card, and maybe he will go for Valash with his hero. It's also okay for us. Okay, he doesn't commit 100%. Now it's our turn again, and we can do a lot of damage. How are we going to do it? We can either destroy his hero, but I am not sure if that's the right play. I would rather destroy those high movement cards right there. So we are going to place Druskur again in this field right here. It will be used as a second time as a sacrificial lamb in that case. I would like to use him differently, but it's not possible currently. And we will use Etherage a little bit more defensively, maybe use it. We only place 2 cards in that turn. Alright, so what are we going to do? I will attack Mojek from this field right there. No, wait a second. We will use Finn from this field right here. Then we will destroy Atieno. And now our hero is safe. We can move Valash right there, and also we stay with Blankar in this field right there. Time is running, I know. Now we had to sacrifice Finn, but we could destroy a lot of the high movement cards of my opponent. Now we, as you can see, now we are gaining back control over the game. So what can he do now? He can destroy our hero. He can just try to push even more, but as you can see, Lapu is still here in this field. He only took 2 warriors away. I'm fine with that. He can't move his hero any further, otherwise I would destroy his hero. So what is he going to do now? Now we need to make a quick turn. We need more time to make a good turn. Obviously, he could stay like that for this turn. And as you can see, he started with more time because he has Tulok, and Tulok gives you 75 seconds starting time budget. And even with his time advantage, he has to play aggressive and he has to think more about his turns. Because if he missteps, we will use his mistakes and win the game. That wasn't a typical game to show off the lurk and push strategy, because our opponent went very aggressive, and that's probably the worst matchup we could face, but still it turned out pretty good. Now we are placing June right here. Now one could say he could be destroyed by Vihu and Zapata. I am happy to make this trade because then he has almost no free movement cards left. Then what we're doing next is we will place Sipash right there, and then we will end the placing phase. And now we will use Valash with her 4 attacking close combat to get Tapeza down on 10 defense. This will stay for the rest of the game. The next thing we are going to do, we are going to push out the Rax into the neutral zone. We are pushing Izarej right there, and then we will end our turn. As you can see, our hero, he's lurking. He has a lot of options to attack. Now he is pretty much forced to destroy June, otherwise his hero is in danger. And now I'm predicting that his turn, or her turn, will probably take even longer, because she's now at the point where she can either push or she can go back into her own zone. It will be pretty hard for her to destroy our hero, our guardian, because 14 defense is pretty high, and also I can always place cards in those fields. As you can see, the time is ticking for my opponent, and he will, oh, that is a misplay. As you can see, she will now need to use 4 cards for drugs. That's not worth it. And now we are going to take back control over the game. What we are going to do now is we will place bricks right here. We will equip Draska, as we said, in the old mill. He can't destroy Draska with Lapo, first of all because he has 7 defense, and also because she is protected by bricks with the protect ability, and he would need to destroy bricks first. And the second thing we are doing is we are now in placing phase and pushing the right side, because then my opponent is not dangerous right here. We are pushing the right side hard now. What I mean by that is we will I would lose my hero. That's probably too much. Okay, we will just place this card right here, and then we will end the turn. Okay, I thought I could attack with Almiraj as well, but I didn't see that Kihina was equipped. I thought she will have 7-2, and that would combine with Lita on 9 attack, and my hero has 9 defense, so it would have been worth it. Now, if Miko stays in this field and attacks in range, we will destroy Miko with June, and we will chunk his moral points down to 11. And then I'm interested to see what my opponent is doing with his cards on the left, because there are only 30 seconds left. As you can see, blocked, can't do anything. All right, we will place Manax right here. Then we will place Drusko again right there. And placing phase, we will use Draska for. I would need. I'm just 1 card shy of. Okay, no, I can't do that. We will destroy Lapu. We will destroy Miko. And then we will move Blankara up in the neutral zone and also Seapush. And now we're slowly destroying our opponent. Again, time pressure. What is he doing with his Now what is doing with his hero? Is he retreating? If so, perfect. If not, yeah. All right, time was ticking, and now we can finish the game. We will place Drusku right there, and the placing phase. Use Draska against Tapeza and destroy Tapeza. Now with our Lurker, with the majestic Drakir, Alnarash F. And game over. Game plan well executed. I will try to make a second video with this deck, because this scenario was now facing a very aggressive Tagara deck by a very aggressive player. So my opponent played pretty well, but we were lurking, we were majestic in our performance. We tried to stay calm and weather the storm, and we did that, and in the end we were victorious.